guys. Realtor Adele, your favorite realtor and investment property strategist. Welcome to the monthly house and market report where we discuss home prices, housing appreciation, mortgage interest rates, housing affordability, and current real estate trends. We also take a look at the economy, jobs market, rate of inflation, and whatever else may be going on globally or politically that may impact the way we buy and sell real property. In this month's report, we are continuing the conversation on housing inventory. I know, it's like enough already. I get it. But baby, calm down. I'm sorry, my Caribbean roots kicked in. But yeah, we are going to continue the conversation on housing inventory because it plays a major role in market conditions. And you guessed it, market conditions determines home prices. Also, what good is a housing market update without addressing mortgage rates? So we'll do that. And then we'll take a look at housing market trends in Metro Atlanta. Let's begin. Let's take a look at housing inventory levels and how they've changed over the last few years from July of 2019 through July of this year. Now, keep in mind, of course, all real estate is local and markets will differ depending on the buyer-seller dynamic in a given area. Keeping that in mind, nationally, inventory levels are currently 13.4% below where they've been as of July of 2019. This map breaks down inventory levels state by state. In Georgia, inventory levels are 6.7% lower than where they've been just a few short years ago. Technically, that tells us that technically we are still in a seller's market. However, it's important to note that home sales are quite stagnant, and there's an obvious turning of the tables, if you will, from a seller to a buyer's market. And that's occurring in real time. As for our neighbor to the south, Florida, inventory for them has increased by 29.4%. This means they're definitely already experiencing a buyer's market. What's currently going on in the market right now is being referred to as the shift. There is a shift in home prices. There is a shift in the amount of inventory that's on the market. Here's a look at how that shift is impacting home buyers and sellers. The blue bar represents the amount of home buyers. Green bar represents the amount of sellers or housing inventory, homes for sale. Now, with more inventory on the market than buyers, it also means longer days on market. When that happens, the next course of action for most home sellers is to reduce the asking price. With property sellers not getting their asking price that they were getting just a few years ago, buyers have more options since there are more homes on the market. As for mortgage interest rates, it seems to be the only thing not shifting, at least in favorable enough numbers that will positively impact housing affordability. Rates have been pretty much stagnant, and there seems to be a pause on fluctuations, at least for now. So, although there is less volatility, this chart shows us the up and down movement of mortgage rates over the last 3 years. In January of 2022, we started off great at the low threes, so rates were in the low threes, which was what was customary at the time. And just like that, it they quickly climbed to 6% by June of that same year. Of course, there were downward adjustments along the way, yet nothing really to talk about because it was short lived. Rates did dip to around 5% in August of 2022, but then we blinked and they climbed again. Long story short, although rates have decreased some, and every little bit helps since it reduces the monthly mortgage payment amount, it's not significant enough to have a huge impact on affordability. With mortgage interest rates currently at 6.56% for a 30-year fix, here's a rate projection from a few industry leaders for the remainder of 2025 through the end of 2026. Fannie Mae is represented by the aqua line, Mortgage Bankers Association green, and Wells Fargo the light gray line. And the orange line represents the actual, like the reality of where rates were and where they currently are as of the third quarter of 2025. Now we can see that Fannie Mae is projecting that rates will land at 6% by the end of next year. Mortgage Bankers Associations are predicting 6.4%, and Wells Fargo is the highest prediction at 6.6% when it's all said and done. At the end of the day, not much is expected to change over the next year and a quarter as far as rates are concerned. Mortgage applications were higher this summer when compared to the same time last year. This means that we saw an increase in buyer demand. Let's keep in mind that rates recently decreased consecutively for 3 months during that time period, which I'm sure had something to do with the spike in mortgage applications. Just the slightest decrease in rates can mean a difference of a few $100s lower for a mortgage payment. Let's take a look at housing market trends in Metro Atlanta. We're starting with single family detached. Pending sales 3,340. Closed sales 3,836. Days on market 38. Average sales price for a single family detached home in Metro Atlanta $576,308. Sellers are receiving 98.4% of their asking price. Month supply of inventory 4.4. For condos and townhomes, pending sales 864, actual closed sales 944, days on market 53, average sales price $394,287. Sellers are receiving 97.9% of their asking price. Month supply of inventory 6.1. I just want to note here that in regard to, even though we are speaking of the same market, notice that for condos and townhomes, the numbers are significantly different, not just with the average sales price, also the days on market, there's a stark difference as well, and the month supply of inventory. So definitely for attached homes in Metro Atlanta, it is a buyer's market. If you have a home or investment property that you're thinking of selling, or if you're curious about its current value, scan the QR code for an estimated home valuation. The results are based on a combination of actual home sales within a certain radius of your home or property. Of course, if you're interested in a more customized valuation, please contact me and I'll be happy to provide that for you. To recap, nationally, inventory levels are 13.4% below where they were in 2019, July of 2019. In Georgia, inventory levels are 6.7% below where they were in July of 2019. Now, technically, in Metro Atlanta, we are in a seller's market for single family detached and in a buyer's market for attached homes. And that is reflective, of course, in the average sales price as well, days on market and the month supply of inventory. Rates remain stagnant and are toggling between 6.5 to around 6.8%. Through 2026, rates are expected to pretty much remain the same. And also, we saw buyer demand tick up slightly this summer. However, it is believed that is because rates had dropped 3 times back to back. And that makes a huge difference in that monthly mortgage payment with any decrease in interest rate. What else did we touch on? Oh, average home price for single family detached in Metro Atlanta, $576,308. Days on market 38. Month supply of inventory 4.4. As for attached homes, average sales price $394,287. Days on market 53. 6.1 month supply of inventory. Overall, property sellers are receiving between 98.9 and 98.4% of their asking price. As always, it's my goal to provide you with accurate information from trusted sources so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, scan the QR code on the slide to receive a free home buyer or seller guide. Also, if you found value in anything I've shared with you, please like this video, subscribe. Also, click the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. Most importantly, please share this video with others whom you feel may benefit from it as well. That's all for now. I'll see you on the next one.